Mom, when you spend your early morning carefully preparing a warm, loving meal, only to watch your sweet dog back away, walk outside to eat wet grass, and throw up, do you secretly feel like you are the one ruining their digestion? I am Claire, and I want to welcome you to Frenchiology, our safe, cozy little corner of the world. I know that those feeding mistakes ruining your dog's digestion can make you feel so incredibly helpless and entirely alone. Please, Mom, put down whatever you are doing, sit down right here with me, and take a very long, deep breath. You are a wonderful, deeply loving mother to your dog, and you have not failed them. Picture this incredibly familiar, heartbreaking scene. You woke up before the sun even touched the sky, sacrificing your own sleep. You stood at the stove, carefully boiling a piece of skinless chicken breast, tearing it apart with your own hands, and lovingly mixing it into that incredibly expensive premium kibble. You place the bowl on the floor with a hopeful smile, but your sweet old basset hound just takes one look, backs slowly away, and turns their sad face from you. They wander out the back door, start frantically chewing on wet, dewy grass, and then they throw up right there on the lawn. Your heart physically clenches in your chest, and to make it all so much worse, you hear the harsh, stinging words of a husband or a family member echoing in your kitchen. They cross their arms and say, "See, you spoil that dog way too much. Just leave the food there and let them starve for a day. I guarantee they will eat it then." The feeling of sheer helplessness and suffocating guilt wraps around your throat. You silently ask yourself, am I accidentally destroying my own baby's digestive system with my love? I am here to tell you, firmly and lovingly, to brush those cruel, uneducated judgments right off your shoulders. You are not a bad mother, and your aging, sensitive dog is absolutely not trying to rebel against you or manipulate you. Let me completely shatter the biggest myth about canine digestion right now. The absolute truth is, a dog's meal is not just about the protein and the nutrients. Their entire digestive tract is neurologically wired directly to their emotional state and their primal nervous system. When their wild, ancient brain feels even a tiny ounce of pressure or lack of safety, their stomach physically, biologically, locks itself completely shut. Today, over this warm cup of coffee, I am going to unravel the 3 loving, well-meaning mistakes that are secretly acting like a padlock on your sweet dog's digestive system. And most importantly, I am going to gently hand you 2 of the quietest, most profoundly empathetic, instant calming fixes. These simple, silent actions will transform their dinner time tonight from a stressful battleground into the most sacred, peaceful ritual of their entire day. Number 1, the incredibly common, guilt-driven trap of the hovering mother. I need you to understand a profound biological truth about survival instincts over a meal. In the ancient, brutal world of wild wolves, staring directly at another animal while they are trying to eat is not a sign of love or encouragement. It carries the devastating life-or-death meaning of a lethal threat. It signals a ruthless, bloody battle over scarce resources. When you stand over your dog, crossing your arms and staring intently down at their bowl, willing them to take a bite, you think you are showing them how much you care. But their primitive brain mistranslates that intense visual pressure. Their brain screams, "Mom is guarding this food. She is threatening my meal. I am not safe to eat here." This crushing, invisible pressure forces them into one of 2 terrible biological reactions. They will either frantically wolf down the food whole without chewing, risking deadly bloat, or they will simply abandon the bowl and run away in fear. I hear about this heartbreaking scenario every single week. Imagine a devoted mother leaning her back against her cold granite kitchen counter. She is staring laser holes into the shiny stainless steel bowl on the floor. The air in that kitchen is pulled as tight as a piano wire. The only sound is her letting out a long, agonizing sigh of defeat because her dog won't take a single bite. Or picture another home. A beautiful, sweet senior basset hound quickly grabs a mouthful of dry kibble. Instead of eating at the bowl, he scurries frantically under the heavy oak dining table. He drops the messy food right onto an expensive Persian rug, just so he can eat in total isolation, hiding from the terrifying, loving eyes of his opponent. So here is your beautiful, progressive healing antidote, Mom. I call it the turned back tea therapy. Tonight, when you put that bowl of food down on the floor, I want you to immediately take 3 deliberate, conscious steps backward. Then you must completely turn your back to your dog. Do not look at them. Look out the window at the garden, or turn around and slowly pour yourself a fresh, hot cup of tea or coffee. You are actively, physically removing the crushing visual pressure from the kitchen. When they realize they are no longer being watched, their ancient nervous system will instantly stand down. I promise you, within moments, you will hear the most comforting sound in the world, the steady, relaxed crunching of them finally eating their meal in absolute peace. Number 2, the heartbreaking illusion of the guilt buffet, or changing their food constantly. We humans project our own feelings onto our dogs. We think, if I ate dry cereal every single day, I would be utterly miserable. So out of pure, desperate love, we start rotating their food. We create a buffet. But Mom, I need to shatter this human illusion. Dogs do not have the biological concept of being bored with their food. Their internal gut microbiome, the delicate bacteria in their stomach, is not a restaurant. It requires the absolute, unchanging stability of an ancient, untouched forest. When you suddenly switch from beef pâté on Monday to chicken bone broth on Tuesday, and then sprinkle rich cheese on top on Wednesday, you are not giving them variety. You are unleashing a devastating biological earthquake straight into their fragile digestive tract. This constant shifting destroys the flora in their gut, causing chronic indigestion, painful gas, and terrible diarrhea. And the scariest truth? Sometimes when a senior dog suddenly turns away from their bowl, they are not being a picky eater. They are silently begging you for help because they have developed painful pancreatitis from all the rich human food, or they are suffering from clinical depression. I think of a lovely woman I met standing paralyzed in the pet aisle at a massive Target store. She was staring wildly at dozens and dozens of colorful wet food cans, tears in her eyes. She confessed to me, feeling so ashamed, that she felt like a failure because she wasn't rich enough to buy her dog a different gourmet meal every single night. Or picture the chaos of Thanksgiving dinner. A desperate mother hurriedly pours rich, fatty turkey bone broth over her dog's plain kibble, just begging them to eat. It works for a moment. But the tragic result is that she is woken up at 2 a.m., forced to scrub a massive puddle of vomit out of her expensive hallway rug, while her dog shakes in misery. Furthermore, hand-feeding them or coaxing them with a silver spoon only trains them to develop severe psychological picky eater syndrome. So here is your progressive healing antidote, Mom. I call it the warm water anchor. I want you to completely stop buying those expensive, rich toppings immediately. Absolute stability is the master key to curing their stomach. Tomorrow morning, if you need to stimulate their appetite, simply take their boring, basic kibble and pour a small splash of plain, warm water over it. That simple, free warmth acts like magic. It physically activates their ancient 3D olfactory bulb. The warm water makes that dry, boring kibble suddenly radiate the intense, mouth-watering aroma of fresh, primal meat. It naturally hydrates them, and most importantly, it keeps their delicate digestive forest perfectly safe and undisturbed. You should also invest in a slow feeder bowl. It brilliantly mimics the natural, slow process of foraging for food in the wild, preventing deadly bloat. Number 3, the crushing, false comfort of the always available bowl. So many loving dog moms have the desperate habit of free feeding, pouring the bowl completely full to the brim and leaving it out 24/7. You do it because you are terrified they will feel a pang of hunger while you are away at work. But Mom, I call this the vending machine syndrome. In the harsh world of the wolf, food is never guaranteed. It is a sacred prize that must be hunted, tracked, and earned. When food is just boringly displayed in a bowl 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it completely loses all of its biological survival value. It physically messes up their internal clocks. It causes their stomach acid to secrete at the wrong biological rhythms, causing agonizing heartburn. Worse, it forces your dog to sink into a state of profound lethargy, acting dull and totally depressed about life itself. Picture a bowl piled high with dry kibble sitting next to a sliding glass door looking out into the backyard. The food just sits there all day. The dog sluggishly walks past it, gives it a dismissive sniff, and then heavily collapses onto the sofa, completely unbothered. Or imagine the crushing pain when a grandchild visits from out of town. The child casually kicks the stale, dry bowl and says, "Geez, Grandma, this food smells horrible sitting out all day. No wonder your dog is aging so incredibly fast." That innocent comment feels like a serrated knife slicing straight into your motherly heart. We are going to stop this tonight with the 15-minute window method. True love is never about being completely permissive. True love is about establishing firm, safe, biological boundaries. Tomorrow morning, put their measured bowl of food down on the floor and set a timer for exactly 15 minutes. If they refuse to eat, or if they turn their back and walk away, I want you to silently, completely wordlessly, pick the bowl up and put it away. Do not yell, do not beg, do not plead with them. You will offer them food again at dinner time. You are brilliantly restoring the sacred value of the meal, forcing their ruined stomach to finally reboot itself back to its ancient, hungry, biological rhythm. Number 4, the devastating paralysis of the emotional lock. I must reiterate this deeply. Food has absolutely zero meaning to a dog when their fragile nervous system is terrified for their actual life. Severe separation anxiety acts like a biological freeze ray. It completely shuts down the digestive process. You cannot fix their stomach until you first heal their panic when you leave the house. Finally, number 5, the cruel betrayal of the bowl test. Old school trainers used to preach this toxic advice. You must stick your hand in their bowl and snatch their food away while they eat to prove you are the alpha. Mom, this is an act of sheer psychological cruelty. It does not teach submission. It creates a terrifying mental disorder called resource guarding. It teaches your dog that human hands are evil thieves that steal their lifeline. Here is your final, beautiful antidote, the game of trade up. While they are eating their boring, dry kibble, I want you to casually walk by, reach down, and drop a tiny, warm piece of roasted chicken right into their bowl. You do not take anything away. You only add joy. You are proving to their ancient brain that mom's hand reaching toward the bowl is an absolute miracle that brings unimaginable treasures, not a thief they need to bite. Mom, please take your glasses off and look right at me. Those terrifying days when they refuse to eat, those horrible mornings when they vomit out on the lawn, that is absolutely not the result of you being a bad, failing mother. You have done absolutely nothing wrong. Your beloved dog might just have a fragile, aging, crumbling digestive system, but they possess a heart that is unimaginably vast, gigantic enough to hold every single ounce of your love. The state of their stomach is merely a mirror reflecting the delicate peace of your household. Healing their broken digestion, miraculously, begins entirely with nurturing the calm, steady peace inside your own soul. Please, Mom, brush away the cruel judgments of society and family who tell you that you treat your dog like a spoiled ghost. Those cold people out there have absolutely no idea what it feels like to wake up in the dead of the night, anxiously rubbing the belly of an old, groaning dog who is in terrible pain. The fact that you worry this intensely over every single bite they take is the most breathtaking, beautiful evidence of a true mother. If you have ever stood alone in your kitchen, crying silent tears as you stared down at their untouched bowl of food, please leave a comment below and tell me, what is the one special, secret, jackpot food that makes their tail wag the absolute hardest? Is it a tiny piece of cheese? A bite of scrambled egg? You are never, ever alone here. Subscribe to Frenchiology, Mom. Together, we are going to transform all of those tense, terrifying meals into the most peaceful, sacred rituals of your lives. Warmly, Claire.